Pulsion's been going for 30 years. Society and the industry has changed hugely over those 30 years. When we started, we were pre-internet days, or at least pre-mass adoption of the internet. It'd be kind of dial-up modems before mobile phones. Realistically, had any sort of adoption really within the UK. Anyway, we were before things like AI as well. Obviously, having only occurred in the last few years. So we have seen society change hugely. We've lived through financial crisis, and we've lived probably a couple of financial crises, crashes of banks, etc. Lehman Brothers going bust. We have also survived through things like COVID. So you're now seeing where 30 years ago, people travelling to the office would just be a thing that people did because it's their job. Now we obviously see the rise of hybrid and kind of some remote working there as well. So society and the industry has changed hugely. What we've seen as well is probably 30 years ago, I think when I started the company, I read a book called Re-Engineering the Corporation, and I had already done a computer science degree. I was intrigued by how you could optimize business through technology and apply obviously software to that. I read the book Re-Engineering the Corporation, and some really fascinating stories within that book. And I basically left my job in a kind of corporate with basically a month's salary to set up a business and start doing software development for companies. So for us, we have had the same kind of vision of re-engineering. That re-engineering became a new term called digital transformation over the years. So it kind of reminds me of the days when plumbers became heating engineers. People take similar type term and then move it into a maybe more market friendly term. So we've seen a lot of change to people coming in, offering digital transformation to the market, and we're also seeing things like AI come here as well. So I've always looked at business as a bit like the pop star Madonna. I'm always one for great analogies, or at least analogies. If you look at Madonna's career as an artist, then you'll see that she's always reinventing herself. And I think as a business, you have to do that. You certainly have to keep up with all the technologies. If we no longer offered internet development, for example, being able to develop web applications or mobile applications, we'd be out of business. So change, you just have to embrace change and try and adopt it. And what you have to do, I suppose, as a founder, is try and scan the horizon as far ahead as you can and start to bet on changes that are coming up and whether you should be part of those changes. So the move to mobile, we didn't start off as a mobile development company because mobile hadn't been invented yet, but we've had to adopt mobile. We did adopt AI probably about maybe 6-7 years before things like ChatGPT brought it into the mainstream, because we could see this market changing. So I think for founders, it's really what you should be looking at. You should be looking at technology, societal changes, trends, and look for, I suppose, some of those waves that will have an effect, a positive or a negative effect on your business, and then adapt your business accordingly. So it may be an opportunity, but it may be a threat as well. And it's generally, in my experience, it's both. So I would say business has changed, society has changed over the last 30 years, and it's probably only going to speed up from here. AI will massively change things, and I think people are seeing it already happen. So I'd say advice for founders that change is just it's a fact of life, and you're just going to have to live with it, and especially going to have to live with it if you're a business. I think it shows the resilience of a business if you can survive for 30 years through wave upon wave of new technology. So for founders, I'd say just embrace that new technology, because if you can't embrace it, then you're probably going to get left behind, and if you get left behind, likelihood is you'll be out of business, like people at Woolworths were during the e-commerce boom.